So for those of you that buy raw books off of eBay, how many times have you been looking for a specific book and you come across a lot that contains that book? You might be tempted just to overlook that book and think, well, lots, they must be low-grade books. They're just trying to move the books, right? If it was a high-grade book and had some value, wouldn't they just sell it by itself? Well, not so fast. There's some good value to be had out there. Recently, I bought a lot of X-Men. It was 9 books, and they looked ultra high grade online, and a couple of those were pretty big keys. So I'm like, okay, let me just bid on it. So I bid a fairly low amount, and I won the auction. So I was like, okay, this must be too good to be true. But when the books came in, I actually did a video on the unboxing of that, and I was pleasantly surprised at the quality and high grade of the books. So what I did is I took 6 of them, and I pre-screened them 9.8 in my first pre-screen submission ever. And yeah, the results were pretty good. And so I'll just show you the grades I got, what the GP analysis value is in the grade that it got, and show you how much value overall I gained from my purchase. Now I bought these books, 9 of them, for 93 something, 94 bucks basically. And I was like, okay, if I can just get one book that's worth 100 bucks, I'm doing pretty good, right? So of course there's CGC fees and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you each book, what the value is according to GP analysis, and then I'll also show you all the costs associated, CGC, shipping fees, all that stuff, and then a final overall value we gained from that book. And at the end, we'll look, did we have a good purchase for $94, or was it not so great? And so I'll just add up the value of each book over time as we go through the video, and we'll see how we did. So I'll just go through them in order. And one of my favorite covers of all time was obviously X-Men 207. And it came back to 9.8. So this was one that I didn't think would be a 9.8. But I pre-screened it and it came back to 9.8. So very, very happy to have another 9.8. I've got several 9.8s of this. I don't know what it is about this book. I call it the poor man's Hulk 340, but it's beautiful in its own right. The next one was 209. Also came back a 9.8. This was an obvious 9.8. So I don't think it's a key. It has some notes on it here, but I don't think it's a major key or anything. But yeah, any 9.8 X-Men from this era is going to have a little bit of value to it. So yeah, that's number 2. And next we have 210, which I think might be a minor key. Let me know in the notes if you know what key this is and why it's a key. It says Marauders cameo. Yeah, that might be the reason. But yeah, another 9.8. So that's 3. And then a classic cover, number 211. This is a lot of collectors want this book. It's got some value to it. And yeah, it's beautiful. And this says first full appearance of the Marauders. So that's probably, besides the classic cover, that's probably why it's a key. So yeah, that's 4 out of 6. Doing good. So next one is number 216. Another great cover. Wolverine in the background there. And yeah, that's 5 out of 6. And last but not least, of course, is number 221, which is probably the biggest key of the bunch. It probably has the most value. How did I get this at a lot for $94 with 8 other books? This should not have been in that lot. This should have been sold by itself, which just goes to show, man, there is some values out there to be had. This book has a lot of value in a 9.8. Just buying this book raw in high grade for 90 bucks there's probably people that would do that, right? So yeah, I mean, overall that's 6 of 6 on my pre-screen. I actually sent a couple others in. I didn't pre-screen that I didn't think would get the 9.8, but I just sent them in anyway. So those haven't come back yet. They haven't even been put in the system by CGC. So there's more value in this lot. I mean, if you just figure each of the other books is worth even $10, I mean, we're doing pretty good on this purchase. So if you're looking for great deals on books, don't overlook the lots. Just because it's in a lot does not mean that it's not a quality book. And of course, if you're not looking for high grade anyway, then what does it matter? I mean, pick up the lot. You'll have some extra books in your collection. I mean, just take the one out you want, sell the others back on eBay, whatever you want to do if you don't want to keep them in your collection. So let me know in the comments, have you gotten any great deals on lots? Do you look for lots? Or is this just something that's been off your radar? Are you going to start looking for lots? Definitely recommend looking at groups of books, lots, if you're trying to find a particular book. So go out there, find you some cool books for your collection, get a great deal on them like I did, hopefully. But most of all, remember to stay nerdy. It was good seeing you guys again today. We'll see you in the next one.